Jackson Overstreet. I'm the Public Information Officer for KC Water, and thankfully we have a dry day today to celebrate an incredible project. We want to thank our members of our City Council here, including 5th District Councilman Corals, for being here to show support. Thank you all for coming out today. And I think without further ado, let's get started with District 4 Councilmember Eric Bunch.
I have to button my jacket because as I was standing here, I dumped coffee on my shirt, which is par for the course for me. Always a great day to spill coffee on yourself. My name is Eric Bunch, 4th District City Council person. This is, they're actually right on the border of the 4th and 6th District now. This is such an incredible project for the 4th District, but it impacts the city citywide because this is a stormwater project. This is a green infrastructure project. This is a major infrastructure project that will have positive impacts for the rest of the city. But in particular, it's going to positively impact the Westport area, something that long before I was on the city council, was aware of the flooding issues that we experience here in Westport. It affects all of our small businesses. It affects residents. You can't throw a rock without hitting someone who has had their car flooded or floated away in Westport from some of the flooding that occurs here. But this isn't just a flood control project. This is a project that will implement some of the best practices in green infrastructure. You will see major streetscape improvements on Mill Street. You will also see in the future a project that's not this one, but related in Mill Creek Park, just downstream from here. We're actually standing in Jeremiah Cameron Park. This is a park that has just been kind of tucked into this hillside for a very long time, where streetcar tracks used to actually go overhead right here. Jeremiah Cameron Park will set the stage for this park to honor the original Steptoe neighborhood. That the history should not be forgotten about that amazing neighborhood that existed just here behind us. So we're going to see some pretty awesome improvements. This is not just a flood control project. This is a project that's going to have some really amazing quality of life improvements to the community. It's also going to help make sure that our streams are cleaner, our ecological environments are healthy and sustainable. So really excited, and I couldn't have done this without, and I say we as a city could not have done this without the support of some amazing people. One of those is my 4th District Large City Council person, Crispin Rea, who saw this as a priority of the city the second he stepped into office and stepped up and helped me and helped our city staff find the funding to make sure that this project, this long overdue project, actually moves forward and gets funded and gets built. So without further ado, I want to introduce Councilman Crispin Rea.
Cool, good morning. If you've lived in Kansas City for any period of time, you are probably familiar with the fact that Westport has historically had a major flood issue. That's because right under Mill Street is Mill Creek, a water basin that collects water, doesn't properly distribute it, and we see flooding far too often. This is a problem that impacts small businesses in Westport and the folks who have spent years putting their blood, sweat, and tears into their small business. It has impacted staff of surrounding employers. I just on the way over here was on the elevator with a city employee who previously had worked at St. Luke's, and she asked where we were headed to, and we told her to this press conference, and she shared that when she worked at St. Luke's, her car had been flooded. So folks have lost their transportation, they've lost their automobiles, and of course it creates a public safety risk. You know, every couple years I feel we see a video of a car floating away or someone stranded on top of a car. However, in spite of all that, Westport has continued to thrive to the tune of about $9.6 million in tax revenue every year to the city of Kansas City. That's money that we get to put into projects like this, put into sidewalks, put into police and fire and all the other basic city services that the politicians like to get up and talk about that we're champions of. I am excited to see what this means for the future of Westport and what we can attract and what the next level will be for Westport with this type of investment. It's not going to solve all the flooding issues, but it's going to take care of a lot of the problems we've had here, that flooding that we see that occurs every 1 to 2 years and impacts businesses and folks. And so I'm very excited to see what this means. I do want to go over a couple of the technical details here because what this project is going to do is install 2 underground storage facilities, one that will be located here at Jeremiah Cameron Park and another at the Sunfresh. And I believe that this portion of the project will be completed before the World Cup. And then the second part will pause, and the second part over at Sunfresh will be completed after the World Cup. And the reason for that is because we want people to be able to come down here, spend their money, patronize the businesses, and experience an iconic Kansas City neighborhood. I'm excited for the streetscape improvements that you're going to see on Mill Street after this is completed. I don't know if you've seen the renderings, but it is green landscaping, it is water infrastructure, it's going to be beautiful. If you're familiar with Mill Street, you know that there are parts of it that don't really function as a street, kind of parts of it that are just a parking lot. I'm very excited for how that is going to better serve pedestrian traffic, facilitate folks going to and from businesses and making their way right down here to this position. Councilman Bunch and I spend a lot of time thanking each other at these big announcements, and that's for good reason. It's because we work together very well, and we made that a priority coming when I took office and Councilman Bunch began his second term, because we knew that if we worked together, we could get things like this done. This is a project, we're talking tens of millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars that voters approved with the GEO bonds. This is a project we get to go back and say, hey voters, this is what we did when you trusted us to vote in favor of approving that money. And although we had a source of funds, it took some work to get the money where we needed it to be so that we could start this project on time and get this portion done for the World Cup. The folks in Westport were very concerned about the streets being tore up or the construction being done and missing that opportunity for the world to be here and spend their money and patronize. And Councilman Bunch and I were able to work very closely together with staff, and I want to thank our staff in the finance department because they went above and beyond to help us figure out how to get the funding done on this timeline so that we could get this project done in time. We made it clear it was a top priority. It wasn't easy, but they did it, and I appreciate our finance staff for coming through. Folks at Burns and Mac for being a supporting cast and navigating that process and also stressing the importance of the timeline and are now going to take this project forward. I thank you as well. If we've got folks here from Westport, could you please raise your hands if you're here with any of the businesses or the regional administration? I see a couple of you all. This project is for you. It is for your businesses and those of you who have held out all these years of challenging flooding. I'm very excited to see what you can do moving forward now that we are going to address this issue. I thank you all for coming out, and I now have the honor of handing it off to Marshawn Butler, Chief Operating Officer with St. Luke's, who is just right here next door to where this project is going to be. Thank you all.
All right, good morning, everyone. Again, it's a pleasure to be here to represent St. Luke's Hospital. St. Luke's Hospital, as you know, is just right up the hill, and not only are we a property owner that has experienced flooding firsthand, as just was shared, we've experienced firsthand in May of 2020, also in 2021, flooding events that impacted our patients and our staff. As shared, I remember looking out the window and seeing cars just kind of almost floating down the street, and so that was a scary sight. So again, we know that this project is very important. We've not only been a stakeholder in this process, but we have been a proud partner. We've been a stakeholder as part of these conversations for the Stormwater project since 2022. Additionally, St. Luke's Hospital, we are providing temporary use of some of our green space for the team's use to store things during construction. So once again, a way that we are trying to partner and invest in this project. Also, as a partner, we've been contributors to the conceptual study phase and most recently engaged with the Dr. Jeremiah Cameron Park Stakeholder Advisory Group and really laying the vision for this park in coordination with this stormwater improvement project. The goal really is to use this park to tell a story. I'm sure many of you are familiar, but we want to tell the story of the Penn School and the Steptoe neighborhood, who has had a long history in this community. Again, St. Luke's is a critical resource in our community for providing health care, and we know this project will be instrumental in reducing the barriers such as flooding, flooding that takes place and potentially preventing access to critical care that we offer. We know that this project will address those challenges and ensure that St. Luke's can be readily available to help our community when it needs us most. This project really is threefold, and we're excited to be a part of it once again. We know the project will improve this overall neighborhood. Secondly, it will bring enhanced value to Mill Street corridor and the surrounding Westport area. And lastly, this project is critical because we know it will create a resilient infrastructure that will reduce flooding, that will greatly impact the employees, our patients, and our visitors overall of the St. Luke's Health System. So thank you for being here, and we're excited to continue to be a partner in this important project. Next, I will turn it over to Kenneth Morgan, the Director of KC Water. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I'm not going to reiterate what was said. I appreciate you being here. Just a few of the project concepts, really from the standpoint of the way this is going to be done. This is a progressive design build, and it's going to incorporate all of the elements that exist with conventional design bid build, but at a faster rate. And it also is going to incorporate, as was mentioned, the elements of the community. You know, I think when you incorporate projects like that, where you utilize some of the existing elements of the community with minimal disruption, while at the same time resolving or solving some of the challenges that exist, as the flooding that was mentioned by just about everyone that preceded me, that these types of projects and the responses to them really provide a mechanism for us to be able to continually provide the service needed by our customers. Flooding is one of those issues. You know, when it happens, it's a great disruption, and sometimes it's hit and miss with how you resolve those things. But I'm excited about the team that we have assembled, our design professionals and the contractors that are going to be involved in really staging and performing this project. But more importantly, when it is done, it's going to provide an environment to where the people of this community and the businesses as well will be able to enjoy this area in a manner in which it was intended. So thank you all for supporting us. We definitely thank Mayor and Council, thank the hospital representatives, as well as those of you that have a vested interest in the success of this project. So thank you very much, and continue to watch not only this project, but the other projects that we have planned for our community, not only in stormwater mitigation, but in water, as well as we have a water main replacement projects that are ongoing that bring value to our customers. We're complying with our responsibilities to agreements made with the federal government. So all of those things play into us providing a better service to the customers that we serve. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.